Hello, this is a teaching game which was played on 15th of July and it has especially very interesting Fuseki and overall it's a very interesting game. So let's take a look from the beginning. So we start with this opening and Black's High Shimari, which we often see in high professional games. And White invades Sansan. So basically we are following an AI right from the beginning. This is one of many choices which Black has. In this game, Black decided to play territorial game and also it's aiming for the Moyo on the right side. I think Black has of course many other choices where to play. Black can decide to approach here, Black can decide to approach here, which are also definitely nice choices what to do. Black can of course invade Sansan. That's a classic possibility in 21st century. However, in this game, Black decided to build a territory on the right side. Therefore, White needs to make sure that the Black's right side potential will not develop so much. So that's why White directly approached the Shimari in the bottom right corner. This move is a bit passive, and also if Black would like to block the corner, then I would probably prefer this move, because if we take a look on this bump, then we can imagine the moves order is basically like this. That first, Black has this Shimari, White approaches like this, and then Black plays this 04 as a move number 3, right? And we can see that move number 3 is definitely very slow. So that's why this sequence in reverse order is definitely not good for Black. So I would either prefer this move, but even this one looks a bit passive, because originally Black's idea was not to necessarily build to the corner territory, because otherwise Black would probably not choose a Shimari at 04, and Black would, for example, choose this one. Is that right? So that means this Shimari is more like aiming for the central influence. So I would probably prefer some Keima from Black's point of view, or attachment. This is probably what I would choose in this game as Black, and I would play, for example, like this. Not only Black block the corner, but also Black develop the potential on the right side very much. So this is definitely better than what Black chose in the game. So the game continues like this. All the moves are kind of fine. And then White plays here, which is another move which is trying to reduce Black's right side potential. It doesn't look like that because it actually looks as a very slow move, maybe a bit developing the top side, but that's not the main idea. The main idea is to prevent Black from playing in this area, because it seems like that Black's right side is becoming very big. So that's why this is a very important point and a very usual continuation from the Joseki in the top right corner. If Black would Tenuki at this point and wouldn't answer, then actually White's invasion as a next move can be very annoying. Even if White would only get this jump, it's already very comfortable, because Black for sure needs to answer. And now actually the top side is really developing quite a lot, and after White's jump here, the territory is becoming dangerously big. So that's why it's very important for Black to answer. Just Keima is probably not the best move, because White is very strong at the top. We don't mind if we make White even stronger. So we might probably prefer to play this attachment. And if White doesn't answer, then Black's continuation, this extension can be very nice. Therefore, White definitely needs to answer, and Black will play here. White will play here, Black will play here, and this is a very classic sequence in this case. If White would try to resist and play here and go up, then actually Black can not only destroy White's shape. We can see B2 Bomber here, and B2 Bomber is a shape which we are trying to not play at all. But the main concern is that if Black plays here and White tries to capture the stones, Black can start disco. So actually this connection at this point, which actually which White gave to Black after this Atari, is very important regarding the Aji in the corner. So White definitely can't afford to play this exchange, and White can just extend. And at this point, Black can of course come back here, which would make the shape super solid. But since we can basically imagine that this exchange is in its place, then Black definitely doesn't have to do it. So at this point, Black can Tenuki and just play here, for example. Also, if White plays here, and in some cases this can be big, then that means that black can also try to sacrifice in this way, and black only sacrificed one stone. Also now M18 stone is a bit wasted, it doesn't have any effect, and also black's shape kept very good on the right side. So this is a very classic sequence, and I don't think that white can ever cut here. So black's N15 doesn't have to be any worry. So black decided to play this schema, which is a good direction of play, but as I said, the attachment is definitely much better. So white gets to play here, which is very big, not only because of the continuation, like inside here in this area, but also it's very big on points. So definitely black is not so happy if white gets this move first. And also in this game, black decided to defend, and since black played a move on the 4th line, I would probably prefer that black plays this exchange and then tries to build the center. Normally when we play a move on the 4th line, we are trying to emphasize on the center and also on influence, not only on taking points on the side. Later, of course, if later in the game, then black can also play this kick, for example, and that can be a very nice continuation. I know that the empty triangle is not a good shape, but in this case it's a very strong one, and black is building quite a nice territory on the left side. So this I would definitely prefer more for black, and if black wanted to just close some territory there, then black should have chosen C10. And then this jump looks quite normal. But when we see this jump, this is definitely not good. This one is clearly better than this, right? So we can continue. White plays this big move, black plays here, which is definitely not small. And now the right side is becoming already very promising for black, so white needs to invade. Black decided to play a very solid move here, which I would probably play a bit more active. I would probably try to kick, make white heavy, and then play this schema. And now it's not so easy for white to list inside. But this move is also fine. Just black needs to find a good answer on the attachment at R5. And now we come to a very important moment. First of all, C3 is very big on points and also is very important for white's base. So black should occupy that move in himself, and if white jumps out, black can still continue the attack, and also black still kept a lot of territory here and also the territory in the corner. So black should be kind of fine at this point. Yeah. And also, if black didn't know how to attack at this point, then black could just tenuki, because black is not in danger anywhere, and this move which black played in the game only helped white to get this move later. So I definitely don't think this is good. This is a good move, and black could also think about playing Keima and trying to close the central influence like this, but still I wouldn't prefer that. I think this block is a must. So in the game, white actually decided to go to the corner, which gave black at least a chance to close the influence somehow. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than what should have happened, because this would be very bad exchange for black. So white probably should have played at Q7 immediately. Shouldn't expect that black will play here, white will play here, black will connect, and now white will play here. This would be a paradise for white, and of course black can't afford to do that. So at least black managed to came back here. And white goes up, and black plays here, which is a good direction of play, because black is trying to reduce white's potential in the bottom left. Probably I would even be a bit more aggressive, because if white if black plays this invasion, I think it's quite hard to prevent it, because black has these two stones which are making black very strong, and white probably needs to choose some sequence like this one. So like this, white would keep the potential in the bottom left, but black would also get some extra territory on the left. So probably this is the best for both what can happen. So this move has a lot of choices what to do. Black can connect from the bottom, connect from upstairs. Black can also attach to the corner, for example, or play Sansan. So I think this invasion black shouldn't be worried of. And here white probably made a small mistake. White should have probably played this one, because like this would kind of close the corner. Since white plays here, it has very nice continuation of this schema, but white's corner is becoming quite open. There is still definitely some kind of agi in this area, so I wouldn't probably d6 is a small mistake. However, black played this move, which is very slow. Black is definitely not closing enough points at this point, and Black should probably choose some building move, so it should be some extension here or 2 space jump here. So these are definitely much bigger moves than M7. Also, Black should realize that his thickness is very strong, so that means Black can definitely afford to play more active. For example, this game, I don't think Black is really worried about this cut, because white stone at M7 will be easily swallowed. So white gets this super big move at the top side, and black decides to invade, and I think at this point we face a very important decision from black's point of view. Black can either decide to invade, but probably black will get a weak group there, and also most likely white will be running this direction trying to separate black, and also running in this direction to separate black. That means that black's potential in this area and also black's potential in this area will get much smaller. Right? So I'm not sure if going inside is a good decision for black. I would probably definitely prefer to keep building. If black plays like this and white answers, then black can also build from the other side. Black can play this schema, which is very big move, and I think black can build very big territory in the center. And also, if we keep into account that black has 50 points handicap, I can't find a way how white could win at this point, because black's territory in the center is simply becoming very big, and I would probably prefer this sequence over the one which happened in the game, because we can see in the game black played an invasion, and I think black actually showed very nice sequence. I probably cannot say any bad word about that. I think black showed quite nice skills regarding living. Also, black prevented white from building a big territory there, but there is one problem which I already mentioned. White got jumping some jumps in this area, which means black's potential on the left side will become very small. Also, white became super strong in this area, which means black potential on the right side will also become very small, or at least much smaller than it could have been. So overall, black played locally very nice sequence, but the problem was that globally it doesn't work together with the other stones. Also, now white has a chance to reduce black's potential, so black can keep some territory there, but it's becoming very small, right? If we take a look on this variation, I'm sorry, not this one, I mean this variation, we can see how big can be black's potential at this point, and if we compare it with this area, we can see how much smaller it is. Moreover, white played a sequence when white can also later cut off this stone, so I think overall black lost quite a lot with the decision of invading at the top. Not only his potentials will be suffering, but also since white became very strong around, white can afford to even cut here. So actually the Keima at E8 is cuttable. So black first tries to exploit some edges in the corner, and black definitely cannot live like this. But black can probably try to live this way, which I'm not sure if will be still enough, but if it's not enough, then before this move black can also try to kick, for example, and like this I think black has much better chances how to create some base in the corner. Always when we are trying to live inside the opponent's territory, we should try to make the base as big as possible, so this is definitely a possibility how to do it. Black can also think about some attachments or this attachment. So for later, black has definitely quite a lot of agi what to do. Attachments are normally the biggest worries of the opponent when we are invading his territory. However, like this, black will die very easily. And the problem is not that black dies, because it was anyway white's territory, but the problem is that black basically ruined all of his agis. Right? And if black would either just keep this move there and continue here, for example, and keep those agis for later, it would be much better. So in the game, black needs to take care of his stones in the center, which once again black played quite a nice sequence. But the problem is that black is already behind, because at the beginning we looked how big potentials black had everywhere. Black had very nice Fuseki, but now we can see that all of black's groups became very small, right? Because now black needs to take care of this group at some point. Black will need to take care of this group. This group is still weak. Right, and also black really didn't build enough points in this area, and black also didn't build enough points in this area. So actually, thanks to the decision at the top side, black put himself into very difficult situation. So here black played very nice Tesuji. I think it's good to remember that, because it's exploiting white's shape. White doesn't have to answer, but locally this move is definitely annoying. So white is getting all of the endgames in time, and now we can see how small black's territory on the right side became. That definitely shouldn't have happened. And now black played a very slow connection. If black would play this endgame, then black can definitely get much more, and black can still keep the game close. Of course, there is some agi at p2, for example, but I would say that, for example, going down here is much bigger than this clamp. Black probably can't defend it, but definitely this is much smaller reduction than b14 is. We also will see very soon how b14 is annoying. And here white already intended to play this endgame. However, if black decides to extend, which keeps much more points, black is actually still alive. So there is actually no reason why black should play like this. Black will also keep life like this, but because if white extends, black can get all of these moves in center, but black would only make life with 2 points. And if white plays connection here, black plays here. So actually white cannot play any good moves locally, so white doesn't play there, so white is already happy of reducing quite a lot of points. And this is the biggest problem of black in this area. I mean in this game overall, because black became simply very small everywhere and had to live very painfully. Moreover, black played this move, which was not necessary. We have already showed why. Black definitely could play some bigger endgames on the board, like this Kosumi, which is probably the biggest move on the board. Black also still has to take care of this group, so black can, for example, do it in an active way, for example, like this, also reducing some more points at the same time. So I would definitely prefer this for black. So in the end, black played some reduction, not the best one, but at least something, and black also made himself alive in the center. But that's also the duty which black had to do in this game. Black had to spend simply a lot of moves of making himself only alive, not to build enough points. So we can see that since black's territories became so small everywhere, black's winning chances are very limited. Black played actually quite a nice endgame, got some points, got some extra points, reduced some points of white. Of course, there were some questionable moves where black could do slightly better, but anyway, it's not changing much of the result. So we can slowly browse through the game until the end. Here black actually made some kind of misreading because black lost 2 points. Black should have just made this kind of exchange, and because in the game, if black plays here and aims for the cut, white can connect here. And white has enough liberties in the corner. If white would capture from the other side, now this is the chance which black is waiting for. But this will not happen. So white got 2 points for free there. So this is the end of the game. Black had a very nice Fuseki, but slowly became very small everywhere. So the decision of playing an invasion at the top side is definitely was not the best one. That was the key moment of the game. And yeah, that's probably all I can say about this game. Very interesting learning material, and I hope you will also learn a lot. So see you next time on the next video. Bye bye.